Hello, and welcome to Nashville Misty Podcast, where we discuss all things pop culture, trending, energy tips, and tricks to get you through this crazy thing we call life. I am actually taping at night, so I'm having a real Play Misty for Me vibe, or any other like night DJ 70s cheesy movie. That's exactly what I feel like right now. So I normally tape during the day, and tonight we're going to tape together late on a dark winter's eve. So how are you? My name is Misty Perry. I am a national real estate, did I say national? Freudian slip. I am a Nashville affiliate broker and momager, entrepreneur, and all things side hustle. Every single time I record anything, all my electronics go crazy. It is a phenomenon. It is a thing. So basically, I am a woman who is so interested in personal development that I created a podcast. And I also kind of mashed that up with pop culture. Yeah, we'll use the word gossip, and a little bit of who's who and what's what. I am a full-time Nashvilleian. I've been here for decades. I got a little scoop, okay? I don't talk about my personal experiences, but that's not to say I won't. So you can reach me at hello@mistyperry.com for any questions, comments, and concerns. I'm always looking for guests on the show. If you don't mind, take a moment and just tap that 5-star button. That really helps me in the iTunes world to get a higher ranking and to get the algorithm higher for my podcast. I do not receive any monetization yet for this podcast. Everything is done by me, the editing, the audio, the graphics, the promotion. So if you could drop me a review, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. The trolls are out there, so I've got to ask for the good people to step up. You know, I heard a quote this week: for every one hater, you have 10 people that love you that just don't tell you. So I need you to show me some love, because we all know the haters love to hate. And anyway, I hope you enjoy this podcast. It's going to be a really interesting show. For today's speaker, we have our energy healer contributor, Ash Holloway. She is going to tell us of a first-hand account of her taking ayahuasca. She is going to spill the spiritual beans. So stay tuned. I cannot wait to get into the microdosing and the ayahuasca benefits. But first, let's start with our quote of the day. Relationships are agents of change and the most powerful form of human therapy. That is by an author named Bruce Perry, who was an author of several books and deals primarily in relationships. I absolutely love his quotes. They are phenomenal. He who was raised as a dog is his best-selling piece of work. And another quote from him is, fire can warm or consume, water can quench or drown, wind can caress or cut, and so it is with human relationships. We can both create and destroy, nurture and terrorize, traumatize and heal each other. So I've really been just mulling over this quote, this idea that our relationships are an actual calling, that our relationships are actual therapy. I heard this first idea from Gabrielle Bernstein, who is the author of Spirit Junkie. And in Spirit Junkie and in Gabrielle Bernstein's work, she embraces the embracing of pain. You know, just that when you have these interactions with people, that they're like callings to elevate, to come up higher, and that people are actual therapy. I heard an interesting conversation with Maya Angelou recently, and she was stating how we can love someone, we can forgive someone, and we can never speak to them again. So it's very important to understand that although we love and forgive people, that we have to have boundaries and that we have to learn something and grow through it. If we continue to push every opportunity of growth away, we don't grow. Maybe you know that person. Studying for the show, researching for the show, I was on Nashville Reddit gossip. And they were talking about a particular celebrity, and I won't say the name. She's blonde, and I'm drinking tea and spilling tea simultaneously. They were just saying how she was extremely rude, and that was a Nashville reputation, that this particular artist was disrespectful, rude, hard to deal with. No one wanted to talk to her. This same artist has a background that doesn't have any adversary in it. It doesn't have any pain or any depth. It's a very flat childhood and very serene life, and caught all the breaks and no divorce, and everything's perfect, and the family looks perfect, and everything. And sometimes in life, when we have not embraced what life is giving us as challenges, and we just kind of cop out and we go where it feels good, and we never dig deeper, we really don't get the true lessons of life. The ultimate forgiveness, the ultimate healing will come when we see our relationships as a place to grow. And if you'd like to hear more about metaphysical stuff, I also have another podcast that's a coaching podcast, Babes Who Build, and I encourage you to check it out. I think you'll really, really, really enjoy it. Shout out of the week goes to Brew House South. It is a new location near Cool Springs Mall in Franklin. Definitely worth the trip. And everyone was social distancing, wearing masks. They had all kinds of beer, every single kind of beer you could think of. They even had a cinnamon roll lager and peanut butter whiskey. I mean, if you want it and they don't have it, then you're wanting something crazy, because they had things I'd never heard of. I was really impressed by the food. I had the Santa Fe chicken, which was kind of more like a pulled pork, but they did a little mojo sauce on the side, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I had the best time there. The avenue and the place were both lit, and it was just an amazing experience. So thank you so much, service workers, bartenders, cashiers, everyone that's out there just, killing it and putting their health at risk for us. So thank you guys so much, and we love you so, so, so much. Now on to the higher things in life. Today our special guest is Energy with Ash, and we're going to talk about ayahuasca. But first, let's dive into just a little bit. What is microdosing? What is plant-based medicine? What are the myths? What are the stereotypes? What are the things that people would not know about these types of medicines? Thousands of years ago, the Aztecs and all of the ancestral people used plants from the earth to heal themselves. There wasn't always Tylenol or Oxy or whatever people use today. They had to be creative and actually mix elements together. Ayahuasca, for instance, is made in South America primarily. And it's not just one plant, as some might think. It's actually the mixing of two elements that will activate and bring it together. Primarily in South America, it's a brewed drink that you actually drink that will give you a next level intuitive experience. When they take this plant, they actually combine the plant, which has DMT, with a MAO. Now, these are fancy acronyms for really long scientific words, but basically what it means is they take the actual plant and mix it with chemicals so that your body can absorb it. Now, ayahuasca is illegal in parts of the United States, and it's not something you could just do by yourself. You have to have a shaman or an energy healer walk you through the process. I've been studying ayahuasca and hallucinogenic healing elements, and it's not It does not have anything to do with losing your cognitive ability or feeling good or feeling buzzed. It's quite the opposite. You actually get physically ill. But during that process, and I know it sounds really kooky and crazy, I've been studying it for years, so to me it's very natural, but I understand if it's your first time, it's fine. Take your time. Take a deep breath. We're going to make it. Ayahuasca actually will take you to another level of your subconscious. So it is a hallucinogenic, but it's not to get high, and it is illegal in a lot of the United States and has restrictions. Now, there are some conspiracy theories that the CIA actually figured out that LSD lets us access other parts of our brain, other realities. It kind of drops all the BS from who we really are and lets us dig in. And that some people pose that the CIA found out how powerful drugs like ayahuasca are and banned them in the United States, labeled them all hallucinogenic, and as we know, the war on drugs made everything that was drug bad. So, where does microdosing come into play? Microdosing is completely different, but they are both plant-based medicines. Microdosing is when they take a tiny piece of a hallucinogenic mushroom or another plant-based element and they cut it, and you take that in small portions. The benefits of microdosing are quite shocking, especially when we hear so much to take pills or certain antidepressants and medications. The results people are experiencing are absolutely phenomenal, and the science is there to back it up. So some of the benefits of microdosing psychedelics include a 10% improved energy level, a 5.8% cognitive benefit, a 1.1% reduced other symptoms, a 11.3% self-efficiency, a 4.2% reduced anxiety, a 7.6% social benefits, a 26.6% improved mood, and 14.8% improved focus. Now, there has been a 40-year pause since the ban of psychedelics and LSD. So the science is trying to catch up with this new microdosing trend to make sure it is safe. But in places like Oregon, Washington, Massachusetts, Maine, people are already getting it delivered to their house and trying it in these tiny sizes. You literally just put it in your mouth and eat it. Some people also drink it. So these are alternative medicines, but just remember, we're spending billions of dollars for pills that are making people sick. You know, there was a recent study that there was an antidepressant, I'm not going to say the name because that actually people were more depressed on. So we have to begin to look at our personal responsibility, and if someone else is benefiting from our bad health, how are we playing a part in that? And how can we disengage from that narrative and re-engage to who we truly are? Now, I've been studying ayahuasca and plant-based medicine for years, and I believe that energy healing and doing things that are culturally rooted in this country that were being done for thousands of years before we were here could teach us some lessons. We seem to be as a whole kind of lost, although I'm so thankful to be living in this age. We also have to acknowledge that we are the most stressed, depressed, and obese in history. So at some point to step back and say, is our medicine making us sick? I mean, food for thought, literally. But ayahuasca I've been studying for years. I'm actually going to go to Costa Rica, and I had a planned trip for the summer, but COVID. Yeah, I should get a shirt that just says but COVID because I say it so often, but COVID. And Ashley is going to be our special guest today. She actually went to Kentucky, where they do actually take you through the ceremonial process of ayahuasca at Peaceful Mountain Way. And there's another name that goes with it, but I'm not going to botch it up. But it's Native American Church of the Peaceful Mountain Way. It's a holistic healing center. Now, if you're interested in going, I am going to put the link in the bio, but let me forewarn, you have to be a member of this church. That probably has something to do with licensing and being able to distribute this, because it is a hallucinogenic, so there are health precautions, safety precautions. This is not something to enter into lightly. So if you do click the link, just remember that you must be a card-carrying member of this center, of this church, in order to participate in ceremony. So just keep that in your mind. And without further ado, to discuss her ayahuasca journey from the other side, Ashley, thank you for being on the show. Okay, so I'm recording now, and if you just want to share, like, what was your experience like? And what was the name of the place again?
The name of the place is Peaceful Mountain Way. It's a branch of the Oklahoma Native American Church, and they do the ayahuasca. That's pretty much all, I think, most of what they do.
Are you Native American?
Partially. It's my great-grandmother on my mother's side was full Indian.
Okay, that's so interesting, because on my mother's side, my great-grandmother was full Cherokee. Uh-oh, we're related.
Maybe that's what our pull towards each other is.
Yeah, we're Cherokee Nation, baby. So when you went up there, did you have to go up there the night before, or how does that work? Did you have to be quarantined or anything like that?
No, they don't care. So basically, you do have to be a member of the church, the Oklahoma Church, to be able to do it. So, like, that helps them with legal stuff too, I'm sure. But so you have to do that first before you can go do the ayahuasca. But you go in. It starts Friday at 1. Like, you have to be there by 1:30. And I didn't even know until Sunday that I didn't know that it was a time change. So when I walked in, I'm thinking I'm like perfect timing. It was like 1:15, and everybody was there, and I was the last one there, and they were already in circle and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Like, how am I late?
Oh, it's Eastern. You crossed into Eastern time zone.
Yeah, because
it's only like Eastern time zone is only an hour away. It's so easy to forget that.
Yeah. So I had no idea until, like, after the whole thing was over. And I was like, oh, whoops. And I guess everybody was worried that I was, something happened or whatever. Anyway, so, and then you stay there. You can get a hotel, but to me it seems a little pointless when you can sleep there on the floor. Like, they give you a 4-inch foam mat. And you can stay there, which everybody did, or you can get a hotel room, but you can't leave until you're like, they're sure that you can drive. And then you it's usually like real late, and then you come back the next day by 1:30. So you do 2 ceremonies. You do one Friday night, and then you do another one Saturday night, and then Sunday morning at 9 they do circle again to kind of like do any last minute counseling so everybody can share stuff like that.
And that's in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
What city?
It's in Borea. It's like 3.5 hours away from here. Borea.
Borea.
I think so. Or it was on Borea Road.
That is so amazing. Okay, did you see Mother Ayahuasca?
Like time is relative, and like, I don't know. It's crazy to try to explain. But I know every experience with ayahuasca is different for each and every person. It is exactly what you need at the time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. That everyone I've talked to say that it morphs into what you need, like a customized experience just for you. And really good church services are like that too. Like you feel like they're talking just to you. Like,
oh my God.
you know, like, how did you know that? And I feel like the ayahuasca journey for me will be like that as well, that it's just going to be customized to exactly what I'm ready for.
Well, you know, some people compare, you know, like can have psychedelic effects, but not every experience is going to be that way. It's based on what you need.
Sure.
So one of the people there, you know, last time they had a really psychedelic experience. And so on the first night, you know, she was talking to him and she was like, what? And he was like waiting, you know, like, why can't we, let's go into that. You know, he was like super eager. And she's like, why do you think you need that? Like, I've shown that to you. Why do you think you need that? Because I know my first night, I didn't have any of that. I had there was one little moment where they have these tapestries hanging up in there, and one's really swirly, and it has some elephants on it, and it kind of became 3D for kind of a second, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh, that's what I saw. It was more like, did I just make that up? It wasn't like a for sure, it moved type of thing.
Right, and ayahuasca is not about, you know, hallucinating or pleasure. It actually can make you very sick. So it's more of a healing medicine. And, you know, you know my story about the Reiki, excuse me, and how sick I got after that. So these things, I think it's really important to say it's a medical medicine for your spirit. It's not for pleasure seeking. Sometimes people think you do these things for pleasure, and it's not. It's really to dig deeper into different layers of your own soul.
It's totally just a spirit journey. And actually, if they think that you're in there for any other reason, they'll be like, no.
Yeah, because that's not what it's for. So what were your 5 takeaways, your biggest takeaways?
Oh, man. I don't know. I had a lot of personal realizations. I mean, it was continuous. Even on the drive home, it was just dropping one after another, and we're all a part of the same. I kind of found who I am in it. And then I healed a lot of past traumas and beliefs and let go of a lot of grief.
And that's funny that you said that we're all one, because I've really been working on that. I had an incident yesterday with someone, and, you know, I think just that old caveman brain, you know, in my head, I was like, this person this and this person that, because they were clearly in the wrong, overstepped so many different ways. And it had to involve other people and money and stuff online. It was a mess. Okay, I'll say it was a mess. But at the same time, I kind of stood back from the situation and said, I am one with this person. Even though I feel wronged, I have to treat them with compassion and empathy, because they are me. If I hurt them, if I hold anything against them,
then that's me saying that I could never act like that when I know I have acted like that. Because we all have, showed our tails because we're hurting or whatever. We don't even realize we're in that wounded place. And I dealt with that person with a lot of empathy and really let them off the hook. I just let them off the hook. Now, I did have to block them because they were coming at me. And this isn't what we talked about last week. It's a whole new person, Ashley. But I did have to block them to protect my own peace. But at the same time, I forgave them. I offered them a solution. And I empathetically just let them go. Just let them go.
Well, yeah, that doesn't, not to say that you shouldn't have boundaries, of course, it doesn't mean you need to let that into your life, but I think people can be a big mirror for us. Like, we have the tendency to want to project our crap onto other people.
Right.
So when you have, like, negative interactions like that, or what you consider negative, you have to ask yourself, what is this projecting back to me? Or is this them in their reality projecting onto me? I don't have to take it personally. Like, if I take it personally, then obviously there's a lesson to be learned.
Yes. And when handling it that way, instead of resisting, because resisting creates more of what we don't want. So instead of resisting this particular person, when I went through this process, because this is all inner self-talk. This isn't me even talking out loud. This is all happening in my head. But when I mentally released this person, so I felt like if I kept resisting it, it would have kept perpetuating. Like, I would still be upset today, or I would still be engaging in this person. But because I let them off the hook, I was better able to institute a boundary. And then I felt good. I felt so good. I was just like, you know what? I see this person's hurting and lashing out, and I really hope that they get the healing they need and a resolution. Like, I really hope that for them. And I instantly felt better. Like,
that is so awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of progress for me, because I would normally feel the need to be right and to be heard, and that person doesn't have to see me because I see me. And it's okay to disagree. Like, it's okay to agree to disagree. We're all on this planet together. But anyway, so you went Friday night and did ceremony, Saturday did ceremony, and Sunday did breakfast?
Well, we did circle to kind of, like, finish things off or whatever, and then me and 3 of the people went to breakfast. Everybody else, like, we have to go. So
that's
okay.
So beautiful. Okay, well, if anyone listening wants to participate, I will put the links in the bio, and definitely encourage everyone to look up healing medicine, because it can revolutionize your life. So anyway, thank you so much, Ashley.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I would just like to thank Energy with Ash again. Thank you so much for being on the show. This is my girl, and I love her so much. She is always taking her mindset, her spirituality, her aura, her being, her juju, her everything to the next level, and I am so here for it. Thank you, girl. Now for Nashville news. Let me introduce you to the coolest thing you can do, literally, this winter in Nashville, and that is to visit the Igloos atop the rooftop of Bobby Hotel. These are absolutely spectacular, and if you can right now, just go over to bobbyhotel.com and check this out. I believe this is the 3rd annual year that they have placed these igloos on top of the roof, and you can have your very own snuggly igloo for $250 in wine and food. So hey, split that 4 ways. You're gonna spend it anyway for dinner. Take some friends. You get 90 minutes for $250, just like you would a cabana at a really fancy pool in Vegas. Same exact concept. It's yours for the taking, and you can enjoy 90 minutes of your very own luxury igloo suite in the middle of downtown Nashville. And just a few things about the Bobby Hotel. It is a vibrant lifestyle hotel. It's unlike any other music city. It's near historic Printers Alley in downtown Nashville. It's just steps away from the whole music scene, all the bars, all the things. They have a nice eclectic mixture of treasures and collections from Bobby's travels. It's also home to an inherently creative experience that will solidify you as long as you live. All this information can be found on bobbyhotel.com, and I am so glad that they are here in Nashville. We have some of the most beautiful hotels right here in the Music City. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. You are my everything, and it has been an absolute joy to be with you. Love you guys so much. If you don't mind, please take a moment and rate and review this podcast and give it a 5-star. Give it something really sweet. Show it some love. If you need me between now and then, I am Nashville Misty on all socials. Insta story? Yeah, that's pretty much where I live. So come say hi. I would love to hear feedback on the show. If you need to email or contact me, or you'd like to be a guest or have an idea for the show, I would love to hear your feedback. It's hello@mistyperry.com. And until we meet again, I love you, world. Bye.
Oh, that's real good.